This week, in response to many requests, we are doing heritage scrapbooking.
Right, but it's not just heritage scrapbook pages. We're looking at heritage scrapbook pages that have a touch of Dazzle.
Of course we are. Well, let's start with our basic tools.
Okay, paper, dazzles, ribbons.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
That'll make me a happy girl.
Here's the ribbons. They're sheer and they're beautiful.
They're
so
lovely. They've got like a swirl pattern on them.
They do.
Gorgeous colors.
And the heritage, just want to go through, there's 24 sheets, 80-pound paper. As always, we give you a sheet of tags that coordinate beautifully.
As well as, if I can scoot this over just a little bit, this is what I love, is that when I'm stuck and I'm scrapbooking, if I'm making a page, if I'm making a card, I've got project ideas here.
In the front and more in the back.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they're different from book to book.
Oh, yeah, right.
So,
of course. They use the papers that are in the book. One of the fun things we wanted to have. Now,
lovely.
This is actually a great example. Heritage papers are going to be more subtle.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, you
definitely.
don't.
It's not citrus.
This is not. That's where I was just going. And this
or
is
holographic.
So we've got our family tree. We've got the words family.
It's not overwhelming, but it's also not just plain paper either.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
there's some shadow, there's some dimension, and there's some pattern on here.
Right.
Oh,
that
beautiful.
pretty. So
great things for masculine and feminine pages.
Exactly. And this is music note, and there
really
is
versatile.
Some wonderful border papers to go with that.
I like having these accent pieces top and bottom on your page, because then you can turn those double page spreads
whichever
direction you want, but you always have a border, and that helps fill space, especially when you have sometimes some very tiny heritage photos. Sometimes they're quite
and you
small.
do, yeah, you
and you need to
certainly
sort
do.
of fill up the rest of it.
And many of the papers, just like the music notes, like these stripes coordinate with that vintage tablecloth.
It is like a table. I love this one.
Dots are always good.
Of course.
We know they go with stripes. So you can just see a whole variety going on. And
okay,
I am so excited to show you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There should be a trumpet playing.
You've only been excited about this for like 6 months.
It's taken 6 months. These are scrapbooking dazzles. Now, what makes them different? Number one, they are larger, because scrapbooking requires something different than card making.
Exactly.
Requires different phrases, different images, and larger images.
Right. Not to say you could not use these for cards.
Yes, that's not to say that. However, but they are designed for scrapbooking. Now, we wanted a 12 by 12 sheet. However, that seems to be impossible. The factories have informed us. 3 different factories have informed us. So what we've done is to have the normal dazzles are 4 by 9.
Okay.
These are 6 by 9. There are 2 that you see, and there's a third
nice.
one you don't
Okay.
see. Okay.
Wonderful. And as always, we have an example of an idea page up here. So you're never lost for, oh, how can I use these? Or you need a little jump start.
And there's more information on the back. I would show it to you, but this is prototype and they're not there. So.
You know, before you pull this away, if I can just bring in these papers again, I've had a couple of people email me lately asking about creating theme albums. And they said, do I need to use the same papers and embellishments throughout my entire album?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Really interesting. A couple all in 1 week. And I think this is a great example of taking a collection of papers that all coordinate, a collection of embellishments that all coordinate, and you've got a thread of continuity that goes throughout your album. It does not mean that you need to use the exact same paper.
So it's interesting, not redundant. Perhaps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you want to say something on the Dazzle? You can kind of see this as I wiggle. The foiling is also the brown, and the brown is an unusual color to have. As a matter of fact, we had to manufacture it specially.
It's beautiful, and I'm just, of course, I'm petting it.
Are.
Yeah.
Now, because of Sarah, and it is because of Sarah, because she was worried. Yes, this too. The borders are done in 6-inch strips.
Oh, right.
So that the feeling was, and your worry was, that 12 inches of pulling just might be a little unwieldy.
Well,
so,
actually, what I know would happen to me, and maybe it would happen to some of you out there, or maybe it's just me.
Tell us.
Is to pull up a border that's 12 inches long immediately. For me, it's going to stick together.
That's just your life, is it?
It's just my life.
So
and I don't want you guys to deal with it either.
Okay, let's bring in some pages.
Okay. Let's start with this first one here. Family Story. It's a perfect way of celebrating a family heirloom.
And actually, this is the one that's on the packaging of the Scrapbook Dazzles.
Right.
And so just getting in here, one of the things, let's just start at the top. And here is a vintage photo that has been matted on the bills paper. It's a whole bunch of documents. It's in the book. But look at these. Isn't that just beautiful?
It's beautiful. And what's also nice is that, you know, we know photo corners, the standard photo corners, especially on heritage pages, they look beautiful. I like this as a photo corner treatment that is something different.
I think it's gorgeous.
Very different.
Speaking of photo corners, there are large ones as well as smaller ones, as you can see right here.
Really unique.
Yeah, aren't those pretty?
Really like those. Let's look up here too, because keys are a wonderful icon to use for heritage
keys
pages.
And clocks. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this family story, these two are separate dazzles from the frame. So she's computer journaled her family name in there.
Right, and then place the frame and the words.
Right.
Look at this wonderful flourish.
I love that.
There are two of those in there.
I love it.
And the border. Look at that.
I want to get to the border because
look at that wonderful lace.
It looks gorgeous.
Isn't that great?
It looks like wrought iron. Actually,
it
does to me. Yeah.
Okay, you've got the companion page.
I do. Let me move this in. And here you can see we're emphasizing some of the same components. So on the supersized mat that we've got here, again, that beautiful wrought iron or lace dazzle border. And then, again, here's one of your flourishes coming off of this photograph. Some of the same photo corners that we used before. This says, and the key, this says Treasures of Yesterday. Yes. Wonderful to add as a caption.
I love the pointed finger. There are a couple of them on the sheets.
And these are really nice for directing your eye toward the photo or toward the journal.
Perfect job of that. Another large frame. And just to show you, here is the Dazzle sheet. When I go to pull this off, this is how tough it is. Ta-da!
Do you want to put it down on this paper?
Sure.
Okay.
Now,
really difficult.
Yeah, really tough. Did you see how I struggled? Now I'm going to put it down toward the bottom, and
you know what's nice is you could have the lacy side down, or you could turn it around and have the straight side down.
Now when I go to place my second piece, it's going to start right here. They are designed to fit.
Right.
And if I decide,
you could use it in two pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. So, maybe on the edge of a photo. If I didn't like it that way, I can lift it up.
I know.
And move it.
I know. And they're really pretty forgiving. I mean, until you actually pat them down, you can kind of set them down and place them a little bit more easily, or maybe with a bit more confidence.
Ta-da!
Wonderful. Gorgeous, gorgeous look.
And you will have innies, and the packaging talks to you about those too.
Okay, so you can use those innies as well.
Yes.
So let's bring in, I'm actually going to bring in the complete double page spread here.
Okay.
So maybe we need to back up a little bit, but I think it makes more sense with the paper. You can see how this tablecloth kind of reads.
And exactly, our feeling was as we looked at this paper now, the stripe is a separate sheet, as probably you saw in the book, but it kind of looked like a vintage tablecloth to us. And we did it so that you see the two sides of it, so that you had more space to do embellishing or your photos.
Absolutely. And what I also really like about this spread, as we're just looking through the entire thing, we've incorporated these really nice light colors with some of those bronze dazzles, which you may think, oh, I need to use dark colors for the dark dazzles to kind of, you know, keep that whole, mood. But they go together really nicely. And I like having lighter colors for heritage pages as well.
Yes.
They don't all have to be brown.
They're beautiful. They're just beautiful. This is an example of using the Dazzle as a border on the journaling. So we've got the clock going on. This has been backed with paper.
Really
so
love
we're going to slip these and see a contemporary layout.
Let's also look at this as a complete double page spread, because again you'll see that we've got that border coming on here. And you don't need to use heritage pages just for heritage projects.
Exactly, but it can be today. And this is really a fun layout, and it's talking about yesterday, but the yesterday is probably 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah, and it really just depends on how far back your heritage goes, really.
And it looks like these are the chocolate flowers, which works really nice. There's also some heritage flowers that are designed to match.
Interesting that she's used a lot of the same elements on both of the pages. Here's this giant clock. We have some of the fleur-de-lis here and some of the photo corners holding down the journaling.
And don't you like that turned on point? So
very different.
Let's see, what else do you have?
Okay, now we've got a masculine double page spread. So using those striped papers, and of course they're perfect for masculine. A lot of us have heritage photos that are from the military, and it's a wonderful way to be able to honor those in very dignified patterns.
Right. So we've